when you get too cocky, he'll just flick his hands, and then something else happens, and then you're back to square one.
So it seems like kind of diving deeper into kind of your career advancement, right? I mean, right now you're pretty much at one of the highest, or not the highest level you can get in your company, and so of course that tread back to a past decade of hard work.
Yeah.
But in terms of kind of your mentality or kind of how you got there, what would you say is one of the key things that enabled you to have that position? Yeah, I mean, like it seems like because I also can't help but wonder when you said like you're mentioning about your son and then his own direction and then and the company. So do you feel like that's also part of the success, just because you're able to know yourself well within your journey within the company, and that enabled you to kind of pick and choose how you can create value, right?
Yeah,
it sounds like that's also, because when I just noticed the parallel between your son as well as your own career path, and so I'm wondering if that's actually something that you've seen.
Interesting. I never realized that, but never realized that there's a connection between us choosing a path for my son and my career path. But the way I see it is that when I was young, I was a bit insecure. So because I'm being introvert, and my younger brother is being extrovert. So extrovert are usually is easily a lot of friends and stuff. So I'm probably a bit more insecure, and when I was young, I was trying to basically fill up my my weakness, rather than concentrate on my strength. So I try to to fix my weaknesses. So that's why I mean, nowadays if people see me, they don't see like, oh, they don't see that I have this weakness or that weakness, but actually I did, and I probably still do. But I read a book. It was like How Quiet. It's a book about introvert, and it says like you should concentrate on your strength instead. So when you concentrate on your strength, you become you excel in that, rather than just covering up, just fixing up your weakness. If you can, well, of course you still have to fix your weakness, but don't forget to to concentrate on your strength too. I think that what's finally helped me in advancing my career, maybe.
Yeah. And maybe just to add also, something I noticed with what you mentioned, and maybe this ties a little bit about career advancement. I think what was special about what you mentioned as well, when you were given the promotion to become the director, the highest level in Datascrip, you actually thought twice about it. You asked yourself, like, am I actually bringing value? Well, what value can I bring to Datascrip in this specific position, right? Maybe that is also one of the reasons, right? In every position that you get, you start thinking like, can I actually deliver value? Only if I can deliver value in that specific position, then I would want to take that position, right? And because when you actually know you can bring value, that's when it shows that you can do that job well, right?
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of times, like a lot of people, like they get a certain position, but they actually don't know, am I even the right person for this job, right? Because if you're not the right person for the job, you might not do the job well, and you won't be able to advance your career. Yeah? So I think that's something that could also be something interesting.
But I wasn't like that in the beginning, though. at least I can tell you that. Again, I was learning from my mistakes, and then so at this point in time, I'd rather step carefully and making sure I can, like you said, like, I am making sure I can do the job well rather than just take it and deal with it later.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, definitely right now times have changed, right? And so maybe it will work for you, like, back then, maybe early 20s might not necessarily work now for people our age. But I think at the end of the day, every company or every boss definitely wants to have their employees to create value, right? I mean, that's when you look at kind of the interest and the motivation, I think definitely when it comes to hiring, especially if you hire someone knowing that they're going to move, knowing that they just want to take whatever they can and move on, which is back to the promotion thing. I mean, that's very similar. It's like promotion is going to be for yourself. And then so if you put the promotion as the highest priority, then of course you're putting your own what you want as a priority, or what you're looking for, your own goals. Which is there's good and bad in that, because in another perspective, if you put the employee or the basically the company's values as your priority, then of course that's also going to shift your mindset, right? And then that also kind of correlates to everything that we're seeing now when it comes to millennials. I mean, I think people moving from job to job, they want to have their own learning, which I understand, but like I think at the end of the day, there has to be that point where it's like, all right, like I'm gonna have to kind of stick to one thing, advance myself there, and then aim to create value for the company. And I think every phase is gonna be different. But I also wanted to mention, like in terms of, there's this book I read recently called Resisting Happiness by Matthew Kelly, and basically one of the parts of the book which has really stuck with me is when he said it's basically a book about relating to God, and then basically what he's saying is that when it comes to life, like everyone is made differently, and everyone has their own path, but also everyone has their own strength, and so it's not about comparing yourself to other people, and it's not about seeing what they can do that you can't, but it's about capitalizing on what you can do and then focusing on that. And then so I think that's a big part about being able to reflect on where you should end up in the career, how much you should know yourself, but also in what point is going to be like, all right, this is going to be what's worked for me, I'm going to keep working, or even like towards maybe move on to something else.
When I was in grad school, I took a job as a night and weekend manager. So it's basically a graduate assistantship. It's a part-time job. So I'm handling hotel staff after hours. So I was learning quickly. Basically, in the beginning, in a couple of months, that the time I thought I had it. I was like, oh, okay, I made it. I know all the leadership theories. I've lead myself and my team well. They can achieve their targets and so on. Then I got cocky, but then again, a couple of days or a couple of weeks later, shit happens, and then I was down, and I started feeling like, oh, I'm not a good manager, I'm not a good leader, I don't deserve to work in this company and stuff like that. And that's going on for like a couple of years, even until after I graduate. But later on, I realized that that's how life works. I mean, you cannot get too cocky, or else God will let you know. When you get too cocky, he'll just flick his hands, and then something else happens, and then you're back to square one. So that's why we need to basically to take everything in moderation. So when you're successful, don't think too highly of yourself. But when you're having problems in your life, don't think too low of yourself. You're not that low.